What happens when chess pieces start arguing and accidentally teach you a powerful tactic? This video brings the chess.com puzzle Not a Smothered Mate, April 1, 2026, to life with funny character-driven dialogue and clear strategic analysis. You'll watch the position unfold move by move while learning how forcing checks, discovered attacks, and piece activity combine into a decisive advantage. In this animated chess puzzle, knights jump dramatically, kings panic, and a rook learns the hard way why coordination matters.
Alright team, I've been stretching my legs and I think it's time for a dramatic leap into enemy territory.
Last time you said that, you knocked over 3 pawns and apologized to none of them.
Please, I am perfectly safe back here. Nothing ever happens to kings in corners.
Hold my horseshoes. I'm going to f7. Surprise! Knight to f7 with check. Did anyone order panic?
Security, why is there a horse in my living room?
Sir, you don't have security.
Nice jump. You've really shaken the royal confidence.
Fine, I'm relocating. This corner is suddenly too drafty. There, king to g8. I am still dignified. Also, I'm glaring at that knight.
Oh no, the royal glare. Whatever shall I do? Actually, I'm not done dancing yet.
I feel a discovered check coming. I love those.
Knight to d6 with check. Also, hello rook on c8. You look nervous.
Excuse me, I was minding my own business.
And now my diagonal is open. King, you are officially uncomfortable.
Why is everyone attacking me at once? This feels like group bullying.
Maybe go back to the corner?
I can't believe I'm doing this again. Back to h8. I demand a refund on this castle.
Perfect. Now about that rook.
Wait, we can negotiate. I can offer. Straight lines?
Sorry, I only accept material. Knight takes rook on c8. Delicious.
You just ate my rook. That was vintage.
Not a smothered mate, Your Majesty. Just a smothered wallet.
Mission accomplished. I came, I jumped, I conquered.
In today's lesson, we're examining the puzzle, Not a Smothered Mate, published on chess.com on April 1, 2026. At first glance, the title teases us into expecting a classic smothered mating pattern, but as we'll see, the tactic evolves into something more positional and material-focused. White begins with a forcing idea, jumping into the enemy camp with knight moves to f7 with check. This is a bold intrusion, and it immediately attacks the king, while also creating latent threats around the queen side. Notice how the knight on f7 is not merely checking, it also destabilizes coordination between black's rook and king. This move asks a direct question: how will black maintain material while keeping the king safe? It also hints that white is not aiming for a quick mate but rather for disorganization. Black's most natural response is king moves to g8, stepping away from the check. This defensive move also attacks the knight on f7, which means white must justify the sacrifice of time. Importantly, the king's shift to g8 slightly loosens the back rank and disconnects the rook on c8 from the king. These small positional details become crucial in tactical sequences. Already we see that the Not a Smothered Mate title is relevant. White is not boxing the king in, but instead pulling it into an awkward defensive dance. White continues with a brilliant follow-up. Knight moves to d6 with check. This is the key move of the puzzle and the heart of the tactic. Rather than retreating passively, the knight relocates to d6, uncovering a discovered check from the queen. The queen on c4 now suddenly has a clear line toward the king on g8. This is a classic example of using a knight not just as an attacker, but as a shield that, when moved, unleashes a more powerful piece. Additionally, from d6, the knight attacks the rook on c8, introducing a material threat. So white has combined discovered check, double attack, and tempo all in one move. Black's options are extremely limited because blocking the check is impossible and capturing the knight fails tactically. Black therefore chooses king moves to h8, retreating again. This move keeps the king safe for the moment but does nothing to resolve the rook's vulnerability. Notice how the king is now back on h8, almost where it started, but black's coordination is worse. The rook on c8 is now hanging and white's pieces are perfectly placed. This is a wonderful illustration of forcing the opponent into passive defense. Now comes the payoff. Knight takes rook on c8. The knight from d6 calmly captures the rook, winning decisive material. This is the logical culmination of the previous forcing sequence. White's knight, which seemed adventurous at first, now emerges as the hero of the position. The capture also opens additional squares and maintains pressure on black's pawn structure. Importantly, White did not pursue a speculative mating net. Instead, White used checks to force the king's movement and then harvested material. This is precisely why the puzzle is titled, Not a Smothered Mate. The tactical theme teases a mating attack, but ultimately transitions into a material win. After the rook disappears, black's defensive resources collapse. White now has a significant advantage in both material and piece activity. The knight on c8 also eyes further targets, reinforcing White's dominance. To summarize, this puzzle is a textbook demonstration of forcing moves leading to material gain. The sequence knight to f7 with check, knight to d6 with discovered check, and knight takes rook on c8 shows how coordinated tactics can outshine brute force mating attempts. The key lesson for intermediate and advanced players is to always look for discovered checks that combine multiple threats. Also note how each move improved White's position while restricting black's king. The checks were not random. They guided the king into a less coordinated defensive structure. This is a powerful strategic concept wrapped in a tactical shell. The playful title reminds us not to tunnel vision on mating patterns. Sometimes the strongest continuation is simply to win decisive material with precision. As you analyze similar positions, ask yourself whether a forcing sequence can transform attacking momentum into tangible advantage. Here, White executed that idea perfectly, and that, class, is a beautiful example of calculated aggression leading to a winning position.
If you enjoy animated chess puzzles, funny chess commentary, and educational chess content, this series is for you. Like the video if the rook deserved it. Comment your favorite line of dialogue. Subscribe for daily animated chess puzzles. Watch the full playlist for more funny chess tactics. Thanks for watching.